Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Amazing Spider-Man issue number 13. This is a 2021 release. Check this out because was this John Romita Jr. did the freaking cover? John Romita Jr. did all the interior art too? Well, this comic book's gonna suck. Class dismissed. And I really could end it there. I shouldn't, but I could. This comic book was actually pretty good as far as the writing is concerned, as far as Zeb Wells is concerned. But there's nothing else positive about the comic book. The art in this comic book is literally, in my opinion, I'm honestly saying this is the worst art modern day in comic books. All right, if a child, if a baby, if an infant were to finger paint Spider-Man, it would look better than this, in my opinion. Because at least I could look at this and say, well, this child is not a prodigy son. This child is not something amazing. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. This is just some random kid. I'm okay with this not being great. I'm okay with this sucking. But this, the son of John Romita, who's still alive and kicking and hopefully very disappointed in his son, the son of John Romita did this. Let's get talking about who else made this book, and we'll go on from there. So Zeb Wells is the writer. John Romita, Disappointing Jr. is the penciler. Scott Hanna on inks, couldn't save this. Color artist Marcio Menez, couldn't save this. Looks like chalk. looks like the colors were done with sidewalk chalk because of how horrible the freaking layouts in this were. My God, this is terrible. VC's Joe Caramagna on letters. John Romita Jr., Scott Hanna, and Marcio Menez did the cover art. Why is it? Please tell me. And a whole bunch of variant covers out there for whatever. I know the reason why. Because the regular covers suck. If only there could have been variant interior art also. Spider-Man was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Here's my question. Why? I think I lost the question. I'm so bothered by this. Why isn't that John Romita Jr. gets to do I always say that the interior artist should also be the main cover artist, not the variant cover artist and not a not artist at all. Always should be the main cover artist. You know exactly what you're getting inside. I guess this is kind of a way of warning us. Don't get this book. It's John Romita Jr. I mean, he's a nice guy, but this is what happens when you hire your friends. And I'm dead serious. I am dead freaking serious on this. You start a business. You do not hire your friends. All right? You just don't do it. Because unless your friends are on the same level as you, this, that, or the other thing, probably going to piss a lot of people off who see this, but oh well. They are not going to have the love and dedication for this job that you do, all right, for this business, for this career, for the success of what you're doing as you do. No, this is simply going to be a case where it's like, well, of course, this is my friend. He made it, so of course he's going to help me make it. There's nothing owed. There is nothing owed to John Romita Jr. Nothing. So you don't just hire this guy because, oh, he was fun in the office. He was a good guy. Good. Hire him to be the guy who hangs out. Hire him to put on a rubber nose and clown shoes. Do not hire him to just be your friend and get you coffee. I don't care. But you don't hire him to do art. In case nobody's gotten the memo, he sucks. He sucks. He used to be amazing. And then he had an artistic stroke or something. I don't get it. Guys, look, as far as the story itself is concerned, it was actually pretty good. And there were parts where it was so hard to read some of this stuff because have you ever read a comic book and you try not to look at the art? I swear to God, that's what I did here. I swear to God, that's all I was doing here. Exclusively, my main intent in reading this comic book was to avoid looking at the freaking art. But I was sitting there reading the comic book, just reading the captions and everything. I'm just like, this is actually pretty exciting. It was genuinely my heart. I'm just like, wow. And if I need to slow it down, it's no big deal. I just looked a little bit to the side and saw the art. I'm going to keep ragging on it, guys. It's because it's that bad. I'm sitting here looking or reading this comic book, and I was genuinely enjoying myself. It was heart-stomping. The two hobgoblins are killing Spider-Man. I'm looking at this as At any point, you're going to tell me this is actually just a Doom bot, right? A spider bot. This is not. Come on, this is not the real Spider-Man. Spider-Man is not about to die. He got cut all over the torso. He got his freaking head caved in. I'm looking at those like, this is not really Spider-Man. That's not how this is going to go down, right? I didn't pick up the unlucky 13th issue where he's about to freaking die, be murdered by two goblins. And then what happened later, I'm just like, oh, this was not what I was expecting, but I like this. Especially since the first issue, I think I only read one other issue of this comic book. Was it issue 1? It might have been. I think it was issue 1 of this series where Norman Osborn was in Spider-Man's ear. And I'm like, this doesn't look like it's going to end well. I still stand by that. But what happened in this book as it stands, wow. I really like this. I like how this turned out. I get that Spider-Man recovered pretty fast. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but at the same time, it does coincide with Spider-Man's other stories. He gets better faster than X-Men do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with that. Spider-Man's obviously got some kind of regeneration ability, just minor, maybe Luke Cage level, right? This was good. This was really good. If only the art didn't suck donkey, saddles. Like the stirrup, that part. If only it didn't. This could have been amazing. It was really good. The only thing amazing about this was the title. The Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man with crap art. This coulda, woulda, shoulda been so much better. I think at some point Marvel's just going to have to sit back and recognize. Like, this is just one of those things, like, it's like Marvel is a big corporation, so they're going to keep on refeeding us the same line of nonsense over and over again. The heroes are going to be awesome, but there's not going to be anything particularly compelling because they're working for Disney. Hey, it's a corporate atmosphere. It is what it is. They're not going to be able to tell you, a story that, like back in the 80s or Jesus, back in the 60s, where it's like, oh my God, Peter's actually, like, something bad is about to really happen, even though this was the closest that we're going to get. This is the closest that I've seen in a very long time. Now imagine if this was like in the 80s and this went over the course of 6 issues, 5 issues in the case of that original Spider-Man story, where he's fighting against the Lizard and he's getting ripped into pieces, he's getting put into shreds, or Kraven's Last Hunt. Oh my God, right? These kinds of stories where you're sitting here thinking, Peter's about to die. This is the closest I've felt to that in a long time. Zed Wells deserves to stand up and take a bow and have people just adulate him. This issue was amazing. It genuinely made me sit here and feel like something's going to happen, right? If I had any criticism of it, any critique would be it should have went on longer. It should have made me, it just should have gone just a little bit more, just a little bit. Another page maybe. Another issue. I really should have felt this sense of dread. Maybe if I read the previous issue, which I didn't. If I would have read the previous issue, maybe I would have gotten that. So that judgment, that's right there. There's a caveat to my judgment on this. But man, this was insanely good. And like I said, I get that sometimes in the corporate atmosphere of Marvel, there's going to constantly be this reminder, hey, it's a corporation. Hey, it's a corporation. Hey, it's just business. Hey, that's just the way it is because we're owned by a huge entity. Okay, well then why is it that you could turn around and say, oh yeah, but I'm going to hire my friend? Because that doesn't have the corporate ring about it. It doesn't. The owners of Marvel today are like 6 owners removed from when John Romita Sr. worked for Marvel on a regular full-time basis, doing Spider-Man or whatever. There are a minimum of 6 owners in between, corporations that owned Marvel in between. You don't get to tell me that, it's just a corporation. No, there are clearly clearly many decisions that can be made internally that differ from what a corporation would say. This is nonsense that this John Romita Jr. joke, this Joker, JR, the triple, he's got the JR, and that's JR. John Romita Jr. Joker. This is a damn shame. And everybody knows it's true because most of us out there have seen what he's capable of doing. Whatever. I said my piece, and the art is a piece of crap. And a talented finisher and a talented colorer couldn't possibly have spruced the pencils in this comic book up. Couldn't have made this comic book any better. They probably looked at this and said, what the hell is Marvel giving me to work with here? This was just a damn crying shame. But I said my piece. Talk to you guys later. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.